Hello, Jason here, Your Language Life. And it's Friday, and I told myself last Friday that I should make this a weekly routine to update this channel and all of you tuning in now or in the future as to my weekly progress with language learning in general. What have I been up to this week? So, in the past week, I would say it's been a pretty quiet week. I haven't really done a whole lot. Nothing terribly special. So, still, my main focus language is Spanish. That's not going to change anytime soon, I don't think. And what did I do this week other than the usual? Keeping up with my Anki decks for Spanish. I think I have four of those that I'm working through now, but only two of them are currently revealing new cards. The other two are just in maintenance mode. Um, I did bump up the number of new cards per day on the 1500 word Spanish intro deck from 5 to 8. And I know that's still a pretty conservative number for most of you people out there. Um, but yeah, I don't like to overwhelm myself because I'm doing four decks. And I know that if I look at Anki and I see that I have hundreds of cards to review, I'm going to feel defeated and shut down, and I'm just not going to do it. So I don't put myself in that situation. Take it easy. That's my general approach. And yeah, like Anthony Lauder says, right? Do what it takes today to make sure that you will study again tomorrow. I mean, he quantifies it as an hour. Like, do what it takes this hour today to make sure that you will study again for an hour tomorrow. Put in another hour. So anyway, yeah, so I try to go easy on myself. That's the philosophy. And yeah, so I'm getting 8 new cards a day on that deck, 5 new on the other deck. Actually, I feel like there are 2 decks where I'm getting 5 new per day. So it's a total of like 18 new per day. Anyway, it's not unreasonable. Uh, I am also doing a little bit, a tiny bit of Mandarin review and adding in Chengyu when I encounter new ones. So I watch when I check on WeChat and I look through messages that people have posted. If I see new interesting vocabulary that I want to learn, I've started to put that into Anki, into a custom deck, and review those. Likewise, when I go to the local free Mandarin practice meetup and I encounter new Chengyu or whatever, I add them to the practice deck. And so I'm doing that too. That I know that's not Spanish, but it's Anki, so by the by. All right. What else have I done this week with Spanish? I watched the new, what's his name? Alvaro Soler. I guess it's not terribly new anymore. His music video, Sophia, probably like 4 or 5 times. And I haven't, and I just pasted the lyrics into Google Translate, but I haven't gone through the process of vetting them really. I just looked through and I could tell that, okay, yeah, this is a pretty lousy translation. Shocker, right? Google Translate. But yeah, by the way, if you didn't realize, yeah, Google Translate, you got to second guess that stuff. You got to check it really carefully. There are a lot of problems with that. So, especially when you get to like poetic stuff, right? Those are not grammatical sentences necessarily. So yeah, does all kinds of bad things with the translation. So yes, so I watched that several times. So just getting used to hearing it and some of the new vocabulary in there. What else? Oh, I put a couple of CDs in my car. I think one of them is Celia Cruz, and it's a little old-timey music, but Spanish. And so, yeah, I'm kind of paying attention to that as I drive around. Listening to Spanish radio, of course. Oh, right, May 1st. Right, we had the May Day protests. So May 1st is International Workers' Day, Labor Day, for many countries around the world. And here in the United States, it's a day of protest. For those of us who are aware of it, it's not a national holiday. It should be, and therefore people are protesting about it usually. So Yeah, and a lot of this has to do with workers' rights issues, which are kind of on the forefront of the minds of, say, for example, migrant workers who are currently under attack in a political way. So it's a political event, and going out, being at a march and rallies in favor of workers' rights, you hear a lot of Spanish, right? So half the chants are in Spanish, half the speakers are in Spanish. There's a lot of Spanish going on, especially in Southern California, which, as we all know, the southwest United States used to be Mexico not too long ago, and a lot of the people here say, we didn't cross the border crossed us, right? Their families have been here since before this was the United States. So, yeah, there's this pride and Chicano culture in the Southwest, especially Southern California, where there's just a lot of Spanish being spoken here, and participation in events like May Day. So May Day was a special day. That was a special event. I didn't get to speak a lot of Spanish, but I heard a lot of Spanish. What else? Mm, I want to say there was something else, but probably not. Oh, right. Yeah. So I took a book along with me that I was finally going to break into. And it's in my bag over there. I can't get it out right now. Yeah, it's called, I think, Listen and Read Spanish. And it's a book full of different articles from the Spanish speaking world, sort of a smattering of dialects all over the place. And I've been meaning to delve into that since I started learning Spanish last year. So it's coming soon. I can feel it. I can feel it, like I'm getting to the point where my vocabulary is enough that I'm ready to take on that challenge soon. So that's coming soon. But I didn't actually crack it open this week. So I think that's about it when it comes to Spanish. Yeah, just keeping up with Anki, which is where I do most of my review for Spanish these days. Uh, yeah. What else? Okay, so ASL, right? So that's been my sort of secret project in a way, where I've been playing around with ASL by watching YouTube videos. There's a video series called Learn ASL in 31 Days by Rochelle Barlow, I think. It's aslrochelle.com, I think is the domain now. And or maybe it's rochellebarlow.com and the ASL Rochelle is the old one. I can't remember. Anyway, I checked out her YouTube channel a while, like a month ago. I think it's been right about a month since I started. And yeah, it's Learn ASL in 31 days. I didn't do it consistently, like one episode per day. I would do it in little bursts. I'd do two or three and then take a day off or review those videos on the next day and then do two or three more, take a day off or review videos the next day, and so on and so forth. It was very inconsistent. And throughout that, here and there are little tests, like a finger spelling test. There's a little quiz to see if, like quick vocab test for like the last 6 or 7 videos. And then at the very end, there are 2 videos that are like a cumulative check of various vocabulary that you should have picked up along the way. And of course, while I'm watching these, it's, YouTube is suggesting all of these other ASL videos, and I'll occasionally watch some of those too. So I'd say I've probably watched. Also have like there's a YouTuber, just like a blogger who happens to be deaf and signs and produces subtitles. So I can't read his signing, but I can read the subtitles, and I can enjoy his thoughts, and I can, especially when he has these musings about ASL. His name is Rogan Shannon. Yeah, that's the name of the channel, Rogan Shannon. And yeah, he's pretty cool. Seems like a cool dude. So yeah, I like what he has to say. I like his musings on ASL and how that language works. That's pretty cool. Um, yeah, like what he talks about. So I've been watching him, and I've been watching all of these videos, actually instructional videos on ASL, and yeah, that's what I've been up to. So I feel like and so just today I discovered, and I don't know why I didn't think of this sooner, the Memrise course for ASL. There's a Memrise course, and it has video in it. So beautiful, perfect. It'll be like spaced repetition built in with video. Um, Seems kind of ideal for learning ASL vocabulary. So I'm gonna switch over to that now. I think I'm kind of over it with the Learn ASL in 31 Days video series. I should probably go back and review all of them, but when I think about it and I consider it, it just sounds so boring. So I think I'm just gonna plow ahead. It doesn't really matter that I've forgotten probably a third to a half of everything that I was exposed to in that course, because I that means I remembered at least a half. I feel like I remember half. We'll see. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking about ASL. Go with the Memrise course from now on. See how that goes. So let's see, what else am I up to? So it's Spanish. Oh, German, right. Oh, and the other thing, so yeah, with German and Spanish, I like the Easy Languages uh, YouTube channels. So I did watch a couple of Easy Spanish episodes this week. Um, I've just started using that resource. I've been watching Easy German for months, just to sort of keep some German flowing into my ears. And, it's cool. Occasionally I have to pause it and go back and say, like, what was that word? Um, but for the most part, I can just sit back and enjoy their street interviews, and it's pretty cool. So yeah, so reviewing German really passively that way, and and actually adding a little bit more to my Spanish exposure that way as well. I know I really, really need to get out to the meetups and speak Spanish. I know that's what's missing. Um, uh, yeah, and I will. I will. But that just didn't happen this week. All right, so I've already rambled on for long enough. It's 12 and a half minutes at this point. So I'm just going to cut it off here and say good luck with your language life. And I'll see you next week. Bye. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe.